Okay, now I'm outside and ready to prime with Plasti Dip. On the areas that I'm going to glue the two halves together, I've taped off so Plasti Dip doesn't get on this part of the foam. And you can see I also taped off on the inside here. Doing even layer. This will probably take a few times because there's a lot of surface area on these guys. Lots of little details. Well, turn these around. Gonna do another layer. Alright. Well, I'll let these sit for a little bit, let them dry. And I'll do a couple of more layers. Yeah, with all these details, this is gonna take a while. Alright, I'm out for day 2. Hopefully we'll get done priming these little guys today. So as you can see, a lot of places don't have anything on them until now. Alright, I'm going to move on to hopefully the final layer, as there's still lots of little touch-ups I need to do, kind of rearrange some things. Okie dokie. So I'm just gonna let those sit and dry, and I'll come back. Maybe I'm looking at all the details. I think I'll need one more touch up and hopefully be done. Alright, I did the last little touch ups. Everything looks really good. I'm just going to let it dry, and yeah, it'll be on to painting. So now that these little guys are primed, I took a mixture of blue, black, and white paint for the gray. I added a little bit of blue because otherwise just white and black can look a little flat. So I like to add some kind of color to my grays. And then this is just going to be the base.
So now that I have the base gray done, I'm gonna work on the copper pieces, which is just a mixture of white, orange, and burnt sienna. Now I'll take this mixture and I'm gonna paint on the first layer. And it's still pretty transparent, so it's probably going to need another coat before going on to the metallic. Now that the first layer is completely dry, I'm just going to go in with the same color for the second layer. So now that I have solid gray, I'm going to take silver, metallic silver, and do basically a metallic wash over. So I like just take water and really thinly paint on top. It's okay if these look a little rough. They're actually meant to. If you want something that's more solid silver, then thicken up the paint. But I want this to be more of like a wash. I'm also gonna do the same silver wash on the bottom piece. And again, it just depends on how silver and shiny you want your pieces to be. The more layers of metallic, the more shiny that it will get. I don't want mine to be super shiny, but I definitely want them to look like metal. Now that it's like a solid copper, I'm gonna take some metallic copper paint and go in as a top coat. I want this to be pretty shiny, so I'm going to not add that much water to the paint, maybe a little bit more. Unlike the silver that I want it to be thin. Being pretty shiny, and then soon it'll be very shiny like this one. So now for the little mouth pieces, I went in with the same black, white, and blue as the base. I just made them lighter and added more white. And just like the base pieces, paint on the first coat, and then we'll go in with silver to make them shiny. Next will be an oil paint wash, and basically that means turning something shiny like this into something that looks tarnished like this. It's super easy. I love doing this technique. Then just start with the silver. Going to use black oil paint. You don't need a tube this big. I am an oil paint artist, so I have bigger tubes. Honestly, if you're just doing an oil wash and this is the only purpose that you're using it for, smaller tubes like this will last you forever and ever and ever. But I just have big tubes because I actually paint with it. But for the silver pieces, I'm going to be using black. My favorite is the ivory black. And then for all the copper pieces, I'm going to use raw umber, which I really like this brown color. It's like a colder brown. And I'm gonna take some turpentine that I have in here. So for you that aren't oil paint artists, here is some turpentine. This is what you use to wash your brushes, but also you're going to use this to water down your paint. This is a professional brand, really good, but you don't need, if you're just a cosplayer that's going for just doing props and that kind of stuff, honestly, even just a normal brand will be just fine. Also, I keep a little jelly jar, or it used to be a little jelly jam jar. This is what I do with the leftover turpentine, and as you can see, you can kind of see a sediment of little paint particles. This way, you do not throw away your used turpentine. You put it in a jar, and yes, you can reuse this. And so all that I do is after I'm done using this turpentine, I'll put it in here and then recycle. I'll put that off to the side. And I will bring the camera closer so you can see what I'm going to do here. So I take some of my turpentine, and I have black right here. I'm going to take some of that and put it off to this side. And oil paint takes several days to dry. So you have lots of times to move it around. You can even, like if this takes you several days, you can come back and not worry about the paint drying on you. And as you can, I don't know, maybe you can kind of see, I'm getting it like really liquidy. Now you can see why like a little bit of paint really goes a long way with this. I'm going to put you back over here. And go along the edges, kind of shove the paint in little nooks and crannies. And you can be messy with it. Now I'm going to take a paper towel kind of do something like this. Make like a corner and rub it in, but also rubbing it away. can see. And it's okay if it's messy. You can go back if you want to and take more away, add more, just wherever you feel is necessary. So now I have all the silver parts done. I'm going to switch over to the copper. And how you wash your brush is just dip it in the turpentine and wipe it off on a napkin until there's no more paint left on the brushes. Do the same thing that I did with the black paint, but use the raw umber instead. And I already have some in my palette. Take some turpentine and the paint. And water it down. Be careful, it is going to be wet for a couple of days and I just grabbed it. And to do the same and push the paint in all the little nooks and crannies. Now that I'm done with the top, I'm going to just do the same exact thing and go on to the bottom. Taking just some black paint and going along the edges. Now onto the finer details of the teeth. Just I mixed together some pink, and this you can go really loose with it. It's just kind of basically paint splatters, and no two are the same, so I'm gonna have some fun with it. When I like the amount of pink I have, I'm going to move on to the bottom one and do the same exact thing. Just like messy paint. Now that I'm happy with the pink I have on the bottom jaw, I am going to add a little bit to the tops and bottoms as well. Not as much as the mouth, but just like a little bit of dripping paint. Now I'm going to go in with some mint green and just freehand some details on. And every one of these guys I made completely different. So nothing has to be perfect. Yeah, don't forget about a little eyeball. Now at this point, since I have both the pink and the teal, I can leave it like this or completely optional. I am going to add some UV paint to mine. All of Jinx has UV elements to it, so thought it'd be fun to add it to these guys too. Now UV paint is pretty transparent, that's why I did a base first, because otherwise I would have to do like a ton of coats before you would actually see it, especially against the black. Now that all the pieces are painted, I can finally take the tape off. Find the end. Just being, there we go. now that it's free of tape, it's time to glue these little guys together.